We intend to offend. We will offend. And if you have a delicate sensibility, click the X button in the corner, or if you're on a Mac, the red button in the left corner. Monty, welcome to the show of offending people.
Well, it never happened and I make shit up. So for the last couple of weeks, everyone that has asked for a reading, apparently you're all from Scotland, from Hurley in Scotland. You all live the same lives. It's very metaphysical, because we're all one. And I can't read the Akashic Records. I don't even have a card.
Welcome to another adventure into reality. I am once again joined by my comical co-hosts, Bruce MacDonald and the infamous Montosaurus Dean Rex.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
Montosaurus, how's it with you?
He's coming.
What's going on? Monty.
There we go. I was not given permission.
And now I'm having that. There we go.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is a comedy show. So that person that has already raised their hand that was wanting to have a session, you will not have a session today. This is a comedy show. If you do want a session, it will come from Monty. He will do your reading for you. If you have a serious stick up your ass so far out up your ass that it's coming out your mouth, this is not the show for you. Hit the red X on the right side of the screen or the red circle on the left side of the screen if you're on Mac or Windows. To remind you all, we are not 24/7, 365 funny. And for those of you like, you're not funny all the time, you ever do a 2-hour radio show? No, you haven't.
Yeah.
So all them bitches and haters that are out there, hate is going to hate and we're going to hate you back.
and that's just an added level of comedy because it makes us laugh. You're not funny. Like,
oh, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think that. Yeah. And also, I'm broadcasting live from Cell Block F here on Prison Island, and apparently it's Nazi Germany week. So if I slip into a German accent, I like to apologize to all the Deutschlanders that are watching.
All the comment Nazis that are out there, fuck off.
Yeah.
I am in a particularly testy mood today.
What's a comment Nazi?
Comment.
Oh, comment.
The ones that go into the comments and just fucking troll for people.
Oh, okay.
You're not funny. I don't like you. Why aren't you doing serious stuff? Why aren't you talking about baby raping wizards? Why aren't you giving me an update? What's my fucking purpose?
I like that. You're not funny. Why aren't you serious? Well, what the fuck are we then? If we're not funny, we're not serious. I'm not sure.
Some of those comments, I'm like, it's like they intend to attack, but as soon as you question them, I wasn't attacking you. Bullshit, you were.
Yeah.
Troll. I'm not a troll. I hate you. I'm never going to listen to you again. Good. Goodbye.
You said that last week.
Exactly. You said that last week. It's like, I don't know, 5-6 months ago when I had that weird Facebook page where I wasn't attacking Trump. And everybody jumped on the bandwagon saying I'm attacking Trump. Oh my God. That was like 300 comments deep.
Yeah. And for you troll commenters who are saying that you're not trolling, at least the Taliban isn't passive aggressive.
Right. They're aggressive.
Yeah, they're not Canadian about it. Yeah.
Oh, Monty. In the first 5 minutes, Monty. Really?
Yes.
Oh, someone's offended.
For everyone that's in the audience right now, we have to count the number of times Bruce says "a" like a Canadian in a show. That's we don't count that just yet because it's got to be natural. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, Bruce has dropped 2 A's. And normally he doesn't do it. So everyone pay attention to Bruce.
And if you don't like it, you can always move to Melbourne. So, Speaking of the Taliban, I shared that. Someone shared that, and I've been sharing it a lot. Where it's the Taliban or Taliban. Is it ban or bon? One's English, one's American. Anyway, the Taliban. press conference. It's just the guy saying, "Look, as I said before, if you don't like it, you can move to Melbourne and live there."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, we'll still bomb you over there.
Yeah. We're changing
Choose where
the name.
you want to be bombed. Choose where you want to be bombed.
We're changing the name of the city to Hellbourne, so that's a good move forward.
12 stages of despotism, Monty.
So
you need to get on top of this.
Anna, you can't count my OKs, okay? You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
I'm banning you from counting my OKs, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So what's been going on in the last 2 weeks? Not much.
I don't know. That whole breakdown in that, what is that country? We were in a war for 20 years.
West Taiwan? No.
Azerbaijan, is it? Is it Azerbaijan? I know there's mountains.
No, I think it's
Luxembourg. There's mountains. Mountains.
It's definitely Luxembourg.
And unless they're faking those photos, there's mountains and there's beards. There's a lot of beards and man dresses. Some people call them robes, but I call them man dresses. So there's mountains, beards, and man dresses. The hell is the name of that country again? Mountains, beards, and man dresses. Where is it again?
And they're full of sand.
Is that Italy? Is that Rome?
No, yeah, it's Switzerland. Because there's the great Swiss Army knife, but I like the idea of the Swiss Navy, where it's two guys in a boat in a lake, telling people to stay away from the edge of the on the shore. Stay away from this puddle. Go away. But also, yeah, some people in the U.S. military would refer to that country you're talking about. It's the one full of sand Nigerians.
Yeah. So I think we're talking about the graveyard of empires here. Afghanistan, which seems to be
the graveyard of empires. Isn't that Canada?
Where there's never been an empire in Canada.
British Empire. The British Empire.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the British Empire is still there.
Good point.
Said the Canadian in Costa Rica.
Jeez. Yeah. So what's going on in that hilly country with the furry people and the man dresses? What's going on there? I heard. Okay, look, this is unverified, but I'm hearing really good things. I'm hearing really good things.
I heard Facebook Marketplace is doing great, and they're selling guns and weapons and grenades now.
Yeah, skydiving's very popular. Unfortunately, you can only do it once.
Yes, skydiving without a parachute.
Mm.
The uniqueness of this moment in which we can seize the moment and shake your serious energies and make fun of Afghanistan. It's like 9/11 jokes. Wins too early.
No, well, see, 9/11. Some people, it's still too early, but now it's kind of a joke because teenagers aren't aware of 9/11 because it's in the past, man. But with Afghanistan, yeah. With Afghanistan, I think there's a bit of glee from us because it's like something happened, and it feels like there's been that shift because, as I said on the show yesterday, Joe Biden has finally brought the country together. I mean, it's at the hatred of him from what he's done. Now there's something actually going around. Thank you for that. That apparently is the people are saying that's fake. Like that's staged, that video.
It's not. It's real.
Well, even if it is,
CNN had it live. How could it be fake?
Well, even if that little video is fake, where it's just all men and it's a green screen, like it doesn't take away from all the other footage of people falling off and because the Taliban. Did you see the New Zealand government said, I hope the Taliban can actually treat women with respect now? Okay.
So I find that interesting. As they're now counting Monty's I find it interesting lines and my OKs.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we have this regular Friday comedical audience that is ready to let go of baby raping lizard wizards for just an hour and a half to 2 hours.
I know it's tough.
I know it's tough. They've been such a good friend to you over the conspiracy years. They helped you get past, just all the stuff that was going on. They occupied your Facebook page.
In about 4 hours, there should be some anti-lockdown protests kicking off in Australia. So it'd be fun to watch if it actually makes it into the mainstream media.
It's not.
Internationally.
It's not going to. There's still mass protests in France and Italy and England, and nothing's making it anywhere.
One of the organizers, it's been put forward that Sydney may have up to 75,000 people turn out. For Australia, that's a lot. Because now for scale, there's 28 million people that live here in Australia. So you've got the size of the United States, but the population of Los Angeles.
Right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that process.
Wait. There's other countries? Why wasn't I told about these things?
Exactly. You are not an informed person, Monty. You don't watch enough mainstream news.
I'm from the future.
How can you conform if you don't watch the news?
I hang out with my mum and stepdad. They watch the news and I watch them.
Oh, they conform for you.
Yeah.
So you're even a lazy conformist?
Mm-hmm.
You're the last to conform.
Yeah. So I have to answer that by saying maybe.
Yes, you find it interesting, baby.
Interestingly, maybe. Interestingly. For those playing at home, following the conversation, using maths diagrams, we're circling. We call it roundabouting.
Yes, beating Bush.
Senior or junior?
Junior.
Well, that's not a challenge.
Well, imagine if you had somebody like Bush follow up Trump.
It'd be better than Biden.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Go back to so Bush 2 had a lot of gaffes, a lot of really, really bad ones. I mean, he brought low-level intelligence to the presidency the first time in a long time.
Is that because the MK Ultra really messed it? Because he was simple. This is going to be a reason he was successful to a certain point, and then he became president, and it's like something's missing.
He was never successful. It was the cocaine.
Yeah.
It was the cocaine.
Oh, it's the cocaine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was my next question. It's probably the heavy use of cocaine.
Yeah, he was every company he was on, he bankrupted. They gave him so many opportunities to run. They started him out with small oil companies and tech. He bankrupted everything. Everything.
I just figured out what happened. Sam Rockwell is such a brilliant actor that I thought George Bush Jr. was coherent and intelligent.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a really good one.
If you remember the movie Dick.
Yeah.
Vice.
Was it Vice? Not Dick.
No. Yeah, it was called Vice. Yeah. Vice President.
I think
the only vice president in history who shot someone in the face, and a few days later, the person he shot in the face apologized for walking in front of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And apologized for being shot by the vice president.
And the Clintons were like, how do we learn this power?
Exactly. How do we learn this power? Jeez. Lord Cheney, come teach us. Let us be your student.
It's been announced today that another security detail of the Clintons has committed suicide, and in their note, they've apologized to the Clintons.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the Afghanistan, why has it been the graveyard of empires? Because I can think of going back about 150 years.
The mountains.
Yeah, let me finish. This is called a setup, Mr. Interrupt the fuck out. Like they say now, it's the minerals in the mountains, but that doesn't make sense in Queen Victoria times. Unless they knew something. Queen Victoria, we're going to Afghanistan. Is it the lithium? No. I'm sure there's something else. It's just fascinating why that country is so popular and everyone that enters it gets the shit kicked out of them, and then they get thrown out because apparently some guys in sheets can continually beat the highest level of civilization at the time.
Yeah, because it's always an attrition endurance war. I mean, you're fighting battles at 13, 14, and 15,000 feet. That's where the towns are at, inside the mountains. Okay. And if you've never fought at 13,000 feet, it sucks. Okay.
Can't breathe.
Exactly. Can't breathe. Okay. Not to mention you have all the underground chambers that are there and the UFOs that are there and et cetera, et cetera. Even when Alexander invaded, he had to use his UFOs that were defending him against the UFOs there. And finally, like, fuck it, we're going around them.
See, this is why Alexander the Great was great. Intelligent.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, maybe not. And I think that whole story of they got to India and were beaten back by monkeys, that's a cover story. Clearly, that's a cover story. Like something else happened. It's like, we'll just go home now.
So, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or anywhere else and want to be a part of the conversation, you need to be in the Zoom room. Robert's going to put up some information for all of you here to share to your social media systems and engines and stuff so that people could come and join us here in the Zoom room. The meeting ID is there. The numbers to dial in. Yes, you can dial in direct from your phone. All right, gentlemen, let's pull up our comedy socks, tie down a drink or two, and let's get into something funny.
Okay.
Cricket.
Oh, it's Christmas already.
There is a bit of a comedy absence in the world now.
It's like a comedy tooth abscess.
Yeah.
Only comedians
no
are
one's
laughing
funny
now.
today. They want baby raping lizard wizards. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, Biden's been funny where apparently now if anyone does a crime of any sort, you can say, oh, come on, that was 2-3 days ago. Did you see that?
2-3 days ago, and it's centuries in media world.
And for Biden as well.
Well, yeah.
He's been in the Senate. He's been in Congress for 170 years.
The Taliban has an official Twitter account that has not been banned.
Nope.
What does that tell you about double standards?
Oh, but apparently the Taliban follow the rules of Twitter, unlike Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so, it's like the Twitter defending themselves, like, you're digging a hole. Dig up, stupid.
Yeah, dig upstream, exactly.
Yeah. Idiots.
Don't say anything incendiary on Twitter. We need it.
So Santo is saying someone start a Spork Twitter account. It's probably already done.
Yeah. Isn't there a Spork in Toy Story 4?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
And it's like, did someone want to get fired from the Disney Corporation? Well, we need a new character to sell toys. Well, what about if we get a Spork and put a googly eye on it? You're hired.
You're hired. Welcome to be vice president of marketing.
That's the fun part where everyone's going a bit nutty, and the "I'm right, you're wrong" aspect. As you know, I'm sure all of us have had this experience where we put forward of, like, in the book that you both wrote, everything is possible, nothing is real, and then people say no, it's not. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. And for Carolyn, I'm sure the Spork is popular on Tinder. It's a vibrating Spork. Okay, and it's got those two little Spork points, those points in case you need to pierce something.
Oh yeah, and you've got about a month and a half to enjoy OnlyFans as well.
Yes, OnlyFans is disappearing. And Bruce didn't know what it was until yesterday. He's lost out in an entire dream world his fetus dreamed up for him.
Well, allegedly, the users, so like the three of us, if we go into OnlyFans, we can't post pornography and video and photos, but creators can if it fits into the OnlyFans structure. But still, I mean, it's like, the investors of OnlyFans, you know what? Let's stop getting 80% of our in revenue that in a pandemic where there's a possible economic collapse because reasons.
Well, they're trying to do a IPO, and they want to legitimize themselves. And just like Craigslist, as soon as it's gone, they're going to go somewhere else. Somebody else will create something else. Yeah,
something will fill the vacuum. Yeah,
and it'll be like the Church of Porn with a big cross on it instead of Jesus hanging. It'll be a BDSM situation with a priest and a kid.
Forgive them, Daddy, for they know what they do.
Oh, no forgiveness for them. They're going to burn in the gates of hell.
Which does exist, because when it was invented in the 12th century, everyone believes it. And because the way things work on this planet, they've created a hellscape, which you can visit, if you believe it, though.
So in Michigan, there's a town called Hell. And whenever it freezes over, the Hell Michigan newspaper says Hell has froze over again.
Yeah, the level of comedy in the newspapers industry is really low. Yes. The puns and the
that's damn journalism schools. All they teach them how to do is sell their souls to the corporate media.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like this whole idea of creating your own reality or going back to your own reality. That's the other thing I've got to keep remembering is that we're not learning to become gods. We're remembering we are gods, if I can use that language.
Oh, we have some serious people in the chat room. Ignore. Click. Turning off chat room. They want baby raping lizard wizards. Tough luck. No baby raping lizard wizards.
But we're killing the planet. It's like the planet's fine. If we were killing the planet, the planet would do something about it and move on.
It would let you know.
Yeah, there'll be a couple.
You
of
would get the
notes.
email. You would get the email or be added to the group chat in WhatsApp.
I'm going to put it out there. Gaia may write a note on the whiteboard on your fridge.
Yeah. Yeah. What would Gaia's note on your fridge be?
Fucking stop it. If Gaia's your housemate, dear Monty, fucking stop it.
Stop eating all of my cornflakes.
Yeah. Oh. The tubs are labeled for a reason, you bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you watch that too, Monty? That Kellogg video? The Kellogg brothers?
I didn't send it. I didn't send it to him.
Oh my God! I sent that to about a dozen people. I could not believe what I was watching there.
Yeah, that guy's
psychotic. I do have I've written a little bit for stand up about Kellogg's because cornflakes was invented to stop masturbation.
Yep.
Now I don't know if anyone's used cornflakes to masturbate with. It works.
Yeah, all that chafing.
Yeah, just the screaming and the scratching and but coconut oil really cleans that up later, and strangely enough, helps out with the masturbation,
and makes it for a much more enjoyable experience.
Yeah. So the cycle of life,
as the cornflakes turn.
Yeah. Like cornflakes through a straw. So are the days of our lives.
Well, you can stop cornflakes through a straw if they've been soaked enough.
Well, or pulverized where they're dust.
I have done it. I have done
it. Confessions of the Galactic Historian.
Yeah. It is. But what I found really interesting about the documentary was, where inventions come from. Like never in your wildest imagination would you consider like somebody that nutty would have been the creator of Kellogg's cornflakes. Well, actually, the cornflake guy was the same one. That was the brother. But yeah. But
What is this? What is this, Robert? You can't make any memes. What's going on?
They're going out of context within 30 seconds of you guys talking about something.
We're channel surfing the conversation again.
Yeah. No, right now I'm looking for anything on cornflakes, though, and I have come across several things on masturbation and cornflakes. It looks like a painful process, but it probably works.
Yeah, it does stop. Yeah.
So if anyone in the chat room, other than Monty, has masturbated with cornflakes, don't call in. Don't call in.
Yeah, we'll leave that till after the awakening. Yeah, there's some stuff that you put on the shelf and you'll learn about later. I thought that was the lead singer from Korn for a bit, and like, no, that's not Jonathan Davis. Okay. Yeah, cornflake R for masturbate. No, to stop masturbation. Yeah, that's why. Is it anyway? Moving on.
Monty, do you add milk to your cornflakes?
In what context?
To eat it.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
This is
Cut,
just dirty.
instead of cornflakes, it's cut of cornflakes.
Once
instead of cunnilingus.
That's 30.
When mastication has begun, I do like my flakes a bit moist. Yes, I use milk. But I haven't had cornflakes in years.
I don't eat cornflakes. I don't think I've had cornflakes since I was like a little kid. I never liked them. I thought they were disgusting.
Yeah, I never liked them either. They didn't have a whole lot of flavor. There wasn't much to them. I mean, if I had, but yeah, when I was growing up, my mom was, did you guys ever hear this Red River cereal? It's like bird seed and
no.
Red River cereal. Yeah. And then a lot of porridge. I mean, just a lot of oatmeal, right? Which I think is probably the best cereal for you. But
well, you do spend. You're in winter 9 months of the year, so porridge would work because you heat that up. So
yeah, oh, it was a brilliant breakfast growing up, man. Porridge, a little banana, maybe some strawberry, maple syrup.
I don't think they've made it, but you know, there's Fruit Loops. There's Fruit Loops, and then they've got giant Fruit Loops. I'm just waiting till when you actually just buy one Fruit Loop, which is about 12 inches across.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we have somebody in the chat room who's asking, what is porridge?
Porridge is oatmeal.
It's a fantastic comedy from the 1970s from BBC.
Richard Dickens. Please, sir, may I have some more?
Oh, sweet gruel.
The three little bears, porridge.
Yeah.
Goldilocks. But what is porridge made out of? I think that's the question. I know it's warmed up oatmeal. Slop. Okay, oatmeal.
It's oatmeal. Yeah.
It's ground differently. It's not pure oatmeal. It's ground a little thinner. That's it.
No. A lot of Commonwealth countries have it because of the Britishness of it, and it's basically to have a warm breakfast when it's cold.
Mm-hmm. In pure carbohydrates.
In the winter. Yeah.
Yeah, start your day.
And it is a great comedy show from the 70s with Ronnie Barker and Kate Beckinsale's father.
Yeah.
This won't save your life, but you may win Trivial Pursuit from knowing that. If you remember who Kate Beckinsale is.
I am having trouble with my headset. It is like fucking not working. Hold on a second. I think it is time for a new headset. I think my inner thing here. There we go. Broke.
Robert has sent me on a deep search here for this Kellogg video. I'll find it.
So I think Andrew is leveling up in the physical because some other things have broken. So that's how I justify buying new shit and skipping over the fact
I've had this headset since 2016.
Well, so that's so the last phase of reality.
Your money's worth. You got your money's worth.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I did share a meme, which I found again. It's popped up occasionally, but it's a photo of a fridge from 1985, and they're still working today. It's basically, I'll outlive your family. I am eternal. I am time itself. And a lot of people have commented underneath. It's like, yeah, I have a fridge like that because back then they built stuff that you could be buried in instead of now where it's only 20 months or something like that. But I just like that. It's like it was a perfect meme. I'll ask all your family members and all you love. I am eternal. I am time itself. And it's just an orange fridge.
My crazy Aunt Tula, before she passed on, she's crazy, but anyway, she was a hairdresser for like 65 years, something crazy like that. But when we went to go help out with her house and stuff like that, she had a refrigerator from 1954 still running, and the last time somebody replaced the compressor on it was in the mid 90s, and it was like 2005 or 6 that when she actually finally passed on. But we decided what to do with it, so my uncle took it, and it's still running at his house now. Still running. Still running.
Fridges.
That's the problem. They don't think of the economic problems that are caused by that, because it's growth, sell. You can't have a car from the 1950s and still drive around in it now because you'll be popular.
Explain to me, Monty.
It's not legally safe either.
Explain to me how you're going to create a sustainable economy by continuing to produce disposable products.
I don't know. Getting rid of the central bank came to mind. I'm out of ideas. I'm not sure. All I need is I need a Nikola Tesla energy device and a replicator from Star Trek, and I'm fine.
A replicator.
From Star Trek, not from Stargate. Now, I'm splitting hairs. Now, a replicator in Star Trek, good. A replicator in Stargate, bad.
Bad, exactly.
So in Gene Roddenberry's universe, the food replicator is when world peace was created, right?
No, the food replicator is something they got from the Vulcans after they had already achieved Warp 3 or 2.
Ah.
And that's the movie First Contact, because Earth was pretty shit. And then a drunk scientist achieved warp drive, and he went across the solar system in like in a half a minute or something like that. And the warp signature of that ship was detected by a Vulcan, and the Vulcans turned up.
And the first thing they made was replicated was porridge.
You're joking, right?
No.
Are you pulling my leg?
I'm pulling your leg, eh?
Eh?
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
I know you didn't.
It's typecast. Monty's the descendant. He's the descendant of criminals. Pick on him. He's like the shame of the Commonwealth right there, Australia.
I'm sorry, my ancestors immigrated. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You know who went to Australia? Guys like Papillon, who got out of the worst prisons in the world. That's who they sent to Australia. And I don't mean that watered down Charlie Hunnam version either. I mean like Steve McQueen.
Yeah. Someone said that's a great film, and I watched it. It was like, I guess.
Okay.
Why would you remake a film that was originally cast with Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen? I mean, why would you even do that?
Because Hollywood's out of ideas.
Yeah.
Have you been to Hollywood lately?
Have you been there exactly? Yeah. They're kind of out of ideas. That's why this whole MCU took over.
Yeah. And that's dying slowly as well, because it's like, oh, another superhero film. Bloody hell. I did enjoy. Have you seen the remake of RoboCop?
No. When did it come out?
2016?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was okay.
It's got Michael Keaton and Samuel Jackson, but to be fair, Samuel is in everything. So it was a good twist.
Snakes on a plane, Monty.
Yeah,
snakes on a plane.
Snakes in a chat room.
And that's quite that for a fun film. Snakes on a plane is enjoyable.
So have you seen Sharknado?
I've heard of Sharknado and the 4 sequels, and
I think they're on Sharknado 5. I have watched all the Sharknados. It was a challenge, let me tell you. It was a challenge. And
Was
let me
someone
tell
trying to
you,
get fired when they came up with that idea?
I definitely no, they made it like as a spoof of Snakes on the Plane. Anyways, there's many times where I have the window open. Oh, let me just add another window. Let me look at YouTube as I'm listening in the background. No, I'm gonna watch this movie. Switch off YouTube. Oh, this thing is awful, miserable.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the concept there's a tornado and it's full of sharks? Is that the premise?
Yes. But the sharks fly in air, and they can live outside of water too.
Wow. And I mean, I seriously doubt that tornado is saltwater too. Not to be a continuity editor.
No, what it is hundreds of tornadoes hit the ocean and suck the sharks out of the water, and then they land on the cities.
Someone actually thought about this to make sure. Well, it's got to be kind of feasible.
So here's something I've always wondered. Did Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert like each other in real life?
No, they hated each other.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm just seeing whether my perception is honed correctly there. I thought maybe it was an act or something, but yeah, they did not like each other. Sharknado. No, I never heard of it. I didn't know there were 4 of them. That's really kind of unbelievable. But I did just watch a movie with a shark that walks around, Suicide Squad 2. That was pretty. He was a good shark character. Num.
Yeah.
Do you know who's voiced that shark?
I do not, Monty.
Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. I remember the cologne. Stallone's the shark. I just saw that movie the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People think it was a riotous comedy. I'm like, okay.
It was formulaic. I actually was sitting there going, do I laugh at this joke? I knew it was coming. Oh, wait, that was kind of funny. The first one, I busted out laughing 4 or 5 times. And this one was like, am I just being a cranky old man? No. I'm not being a cranky old man here. This is formulaic. This is really formulaic.
It is James Gunn. Is it James Gunn?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No. It's not. It's not James Gunn. It's Tahaki or something like that. And there were 15 directors on the movie when you look at the credits.
Okay. Well, James Gunn.
Directors.
Wow.
Yeah. James Gunn wrote it, and apparently he's been put out that he directed it as well. Apparently, it's his baby.
It's not. It's his name wasn't even.
Well, go argue with the marketing team from DC.
I'm looking it up. I'm checking the internet right now.
But my point is, because apparently, if you tell racist jokes, you're a racist. But if you tell pedophilia jokes, you're a successful Hollywood director, and that's James Gunn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because he's just really disturbed. Like, he actually got cancelled and then got brought back, and he's I think they finished filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he's moved in. Yeah, he's moved from Marvel to DC, which is interesting because J.J. Abrams is doing DC as well, and basically more franchises are going to be destroyed. Mind you, with DC, not that hard.
It's a tough time for storytellers. It really is. And a lot of the reasons for that are explained in the Galactic Historian. Because for story, you need a very, very solid definition and belief in time. There has to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Story is really karma auditing. It's basically the human race observing our best interpretation of what karma is. You look at all of Shakespeare's plays, and they all pivot off decisions. There's always a pivotal decision. And so now, as we get into this, higher consciousness, the awakening, the contribution of Western yoga, quantum physics, I call it Western yoga, yoga with calculus, and no stretching required. But it's a real tough time to tell a story now. I mean, people are lost. I think there's still a lot of space for good, simple, moral storytelling. I'm thinking of something like Billy Bob Thornton's opener, Sling Blade, which I think is a bona fide masterpiece. So we're just kind of lost now. Am I the only one experiencing what I would call CGI toxicity? Like, I thought it was amazing when it first came out. Oh my God, look at what they were able to do with the Lord of the Rings. Now, My God, if I see one more CGI scene, I just think I'm going to vomit. It's just everything is CGI now.
Yeah, but they've been switching to that for a while.
Yeah, there are some filmmakers that love to do everything practical effects in camera. And Labyrinth is a good example. The first 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, anything with Jim Henson, like, which is the best? Yoda's in 4, or no, Yoda's in 5 of the 6 Star Wars movies, because I still can't accept the Disney Star Wars movies. That's my own problem. Which is the best Yoda?
Well, the original.
Yeah, from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And that's a hand puppet. That's with Frank Oz actually doing it live. The Phantom Menace was CGI, and you could tell it was a bit shit. And then the next couple of films, they went back to the puppet, but things had changed and blah, blah, blah. So, the Dark Crystal was like in 86. That's only 90 minutes long. That's what I'm finding interesting, is watching films that are 90 minutes long. It's like, you get used to episodic television, and the story's all there. You don't need to sort of expand it. You don't need to make another 11 episodes afterwards or anything else like that. But it's interesting to see how storytelling. Now, apparently, the prequel to the Dark Crystal, I can't remember what it was called, that was made really well. But unfortunately, they canceled it because it was highly expensive.
So I have to admit when I'm wrong. So James Gunn is on it, and I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now, and they still had the 15 directors on it. I have people that all got directing credits for it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Hollywood now. Everything's by committee. Yeah. I think Picard, they're making season 2, but it's about Q, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So Q's coming back.
It's going to be a Q-tard?
No, wow. Not that Q.
I don't know. A Picard is going to be a Q-tard?
Yeah, Picard, Q-tard, Libtard. Now, but they had up to 28 producers on the Picard season 1.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes.
That's why we paused.
I'm sorry, but I went out for 5 seconds after that. Sorry about that, Monty. I was just going to say, I just wanted to throw in there real quickly. I think, given the scope of the Q character from the original Star Trek Next Generation, I think it's fair to say he died in a plane crash in Breaking Bad. They can't bring him back.
No, you're mixing your
No.
timelines.
If that character was real, he's real in everything he ever appears in. The character became bigger than the actor. That was the part of the role. He knew it when he signed on. There's consequences to this method acting, Monty.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah. What I find amusing, what if the new Marvel's thing where one thing changes the whole timeline, and people are complaining about the second episode, which is instead of Peter, what's his name, who becomes Star-Lord, it's T'Challa from Wakanda who becomes Star-Lord. And so you just change that and the whole story molds around it. But people are like, they've ruined the canon and respect and everything. It's like, do these people understand how a multiverse works? It's a different timeline. It hasn't undone anything. It's just people like to be nitpicky, and there's that does everyone still feel that background tension of, well, this is shit in reality? That the global narrative's running out of steam.
The global narrative right now has global narrative Subway shops everywhere serving shit sandwiches, buy one get one free, and the conformists are lining up for their shit sandwich.
Well, yeah, because yesterday we didn't talk about Afghanistan, and that would lead us to the Inner Earth report, because Afghanistan, like Biden making this decision, as I said, has brought the country together, because there's a lot of, I don't think there are people saying, no, Biden, they pulled out the orange man bad card, because there's one theory that Donald Trump set up this booby trap for Biden about Afghanistan.
That's as bad as Face Off.
Yeah. You've got QAnon, and then you have Blue Anon. That's a Blue Anon conspiracy.
Exactly. Blue Anon.
yeah, that's been around. It's like, oh my god, that the whole thing. That's why they had that 8-foot fence around Washington, because the Trumpers are going to riot. In the last 5 years, technically, there's only been one MAGA riot, and that was on the 6th of January. But Portland's still on fire. So slight hypocrisy there.
Exactly, slight hypocrisy there.
Just a hint of like the Taliban. They're mostly peaceful. They're chanting "Death to America," but mostly peaceful.
Yeah, but they do that all the time. It's like rappers using the N-word.
Yeah, we own this
death
now.
To America, death to America, death to America, bitches, blunts, 40s, hoes, big beards, and no pork. No pork.
You've just attempted a revolution and a coup, and you've taken over the country. What are you going to do now? We are going to Disneyland.
Yes. Muslim Disneyland. Mecca.
Yes. We're going to Mecca. Buy a T-shirt. And my wife will come. Just this once.
Oh, I got the Yonzies. Where's my coffee? Shit, I left it outside. Fuck.
Yeah. You're having a great day, aren't you?
Yeah, just one of those weirdo days.
Yeah. Well, interesting things are happening. Energetically, like we're out of the Lions Gate, and like even normies, and I say that respectfully, even normies are going, does it feel different to you? Like, yeah, it fucking is.
So you were asking about an Inner Earth report. And because we have such a unique audience here in the Zoom room with us, many of who have spent dozens of Fridays with us over the last year and 5 months or 4 months we've been doing this, who remembers my Inner Earth stuff? And what have you learned from it? I'm setting you up for something here. So people like Santo and Shale and Caroline and JS Heck and all those that are here all the time, you guys are going to go down to your little chat room. Patty, you too. Okay.
I see now. Before the Inner Earth, you haven't done the Lionsgate. I know you repeated the show from.
I didn't promise nothing. And if you go back to that show,
you kicked the can down the road.
That's right, I did. I kicked that can down the road far. I said I might, if I felt good enough. If my audience is like, please give us an Inner Earth report. What are the baby raping lizard wizards doing?
No, I think it was just it was the fallout from Lionsgate. It would be connected to, like, for us, Afghanistan is like the latest big thing, because a lot of people are excited. We can get to talk about something now because it's not the same fucking loop over and over again. There's been COVID deaths and there's cases, and vaccines are bad.
I have a unique metaphor for you. So when we last left our narrative, the Lizard CEO and the Lizard COO were replaced, and the Lizard CFO, financial officer, is still there. But what's going now is an extended process of sexual harassment at the Inner Earth level, where they were not promoting women. They were firing people without cause, protecting the oppressions, what lizards do. Okay. And now there's an attempt to unionize the corporation.
Ooh,
and the lizards are going, no, you can't unionize this. So at the corporate and board level, they're dealing with the fallout of all of the abusive things the lizards dealt out onto just the corporations, not the human beings.
Wow. That's like a postmodern moment there.
Yeah, it's hashtag Hollow Earth Me Too.
Yeah.
As above, so below. And if now is Inner Earth above or below us?
Below.
Or is that a question that you have to meditate on?
It's below us.
Yeah.
And it's within us, but that's another thing. Now, that's the metaphor, but it isn't just about women. It's literally they were only promoting lizards.
Hmm.
Okay. Or other people, other lizard more people that shared the lizard morals.
Oh, so it's like the British Parliament where everyone's
Yes.
just from one fucking school now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, the fallout inside the corporation is really bad. You having people that are trying to unionize. And what happens when you have a loose harvesting system that unionizes? All of the harvesters are going to want a union too. Loose harvesting groups, Union House 424. Okay. The loose transporters. And the next thing you know, the unions are going to ruin everything.
Just represent all representatives of the unions will have New Jersey or New York accents.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Right. And
my workers.
What do you hear about that thing?
Yeah. Do you have that thing? Because I gotta go up to the office and talk to the guys,
Mm-hmm. All right. So now the next part of the Inner Earth update is, so you have the context, the setup. The board's really upset. They're gonna hire an Earth law firm that specializes in union busting.
Oh,
same one Amazon uses.
Yeah,
same one Amazon's using.
What is it? Cheatham and Howe.
Dewey Cheatham and Howe.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So they're gonna hire a special anti-union law firm for the board. Now, on the other side, there's the investors who are not on the board level. And the investors who are not on the board level are sending their letters to the board that they want the board replaced. They're threatening all sorts of otherworldly actions if something's not done at the board level, and to shake up the management itself, the higher level management, and to start removing the golden parachute system. So remember when the haters on Wall Street, no one should have a golden parachute. If you bankrupt a company, you should lose everything. Well, that's starting to take place in the Hollow Earth now, that there will be no golden parachute, past, present, or future.
So we're not too big to fail then.
Right. We're not too big to fail. Exactly. And this is beginning to have long reaching effects on just about everything that's going in Hollow Earth. It's gotten the lazy Hollow Earthers off their couches.
Yeah, I'm just what's the ramifications off world then?
Well, if they unionize, that means the unions are going to make deals with the off-worlders.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole Lizard's house of cards are going to come tumbling down.
Yeah, and so the investors, do they own the planet? Yeah, I'm just going with the basic, there's an owner of the farm. Obviously, this just looks like a comedy of errors, and I'm sure someone's going to go, stop that.
Technically, the corporation owns the farm.
Yeah, but who owns the corporation?
The investors.
Right.
The people that were a part of it from the beginning. But technically, under spiritual corporate law, they don't own anything. Okay.
Yeah. We're the caretaker for the corporation.
Yeah, we're the stewards.
Double blind.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's in a trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what we have here is some of the effects that we're going to feel is the surface apparatus of control. You're going to have various non-board members try to seize control of the surface apparatus. So we're gonna see people that are going to come in and try to literally hijack the surface. The southern ones are going to try to do a corporate takeover of the services. You'll have another corporation from another world with other investors who are going to come here and try to take apart what the lizards got here.
Yeah, that sounds like
Galactic Gordon Gecko.
So yeah, we may be bought out by Microsoft. That type of thing. There's another Galactic Microsoft that has Loosh, and so you've got a better product than me, so we'll just buy you and absorb you into our Macrosoft. That's what it'll be called. The galactic version of it.
I like that. Macrosoft.
Well, it's the micro and the macro. Yeah, macro. So
I like that a lot.
So Microsoft. So what's Mac's other name?
Hey, Mick.
Crapple.
Mick?
Yeah.
Obviously.
They're from, they're either Irish or Scottish. Mick.
Mick, Mac, Microsoft. So, so why would there be another takeover? I mean, why can't we just self-govern and end all of this farming and all of this stuff? Why can't we just capitalize on this moment? The human race, the surface dwellers.
Who's we, sucker?
What do you mean we?
So whenever we have the people go, who are they? We have to ask, who are we?
Well, we, us, man.
We're not unified. We're not dealing with. We're not in shared reality. There's a whole different bubble out there that doesn't want to let go of the addiction here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you convince a Trumper it's not baby raping lizard wizards? That Trump isn't Jesus. Or vice versa, the purple-haired leftists who think that they're perfect beings, but in fact are just as bad and tyrannical.
Yeah, well, they believe Trump is the incarnation of evil on a galactic level. Like, really? Yeah, because he likes to help people. Not all the time, but, he helps himself, but he's people.
I had a little Trump thought this week. I haven't thought about him in quite a while. And, all things considered, I'm glad I supported him. Really, at the end of the day, he had me when he said he wasn't going to sign the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Paris Accord. And he fulfilled those for 4 years. Joe Biden signed them his first day in office, but Trump kept his promise to me, man. I got no beef with the guy.
Yeah, and I've stated as well, like, people think I defend Trump. It's like, no, I'm attacking the other side because they're worse. However, would I vote for Donald Trump? Who's he going up against? Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Hey, Trump 4 more years. But if it was someone else, not so much. It's like, he's not going to save humanity. I think someone told him that he's going to save humanity, and that explains how he's been dealing with stuff.
Magnificent. I am magnificent.
Really huge, really big. The best ever. But do you think he would come back?
No, he's too old now. I mean, well, then again, looking at what the state Biden's in, I'm not sure what matters anymore. But I think it's just stupid. And I think we now have a major problem with the Republican Party, because if the Trump movement fails in the Republican Party, they'll keep some version of it alive, Republican patriotism, right? But what's going to happen is, I think that here's my guess, or my hypothesis, is that the elements of what we'll call the really corrupt government will take that party over again, and it'll become even worse than Biden and Hillary.
Just like when the Tea Party got taken over by the Republicans again.
Well, that's what I find in the last 3-4 years. People in charge suck, but there's no opposition. Like here in Australia, why do the Liberals keep getting voted in? Because there's no fucking opposition. There's not even illusion of choice. What's it like in Canada? It's slightly different now because Castro's fucking nuts. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, there is an opposition, but they're just sitting there going, well, let them be really bad and hope people, the Biden Trump thing. It's it's not Trump. Yeah. That sort of element. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in Canada now, we have a real, I don't know how to say this. I mean, they say you shouldn't say anything unless it's true, necessary, and kind. But I mean, this is the Every Other Friday comedy show. Canadians are really fucking stupid, and it's not really stupidity. I mean, like, you'll find good scientists and some good musicians and some good writers, but it's a really apathetic culture. Like, apathy is the defining characteristic of Canadian culture. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was Australian.
Monty, have you noticed that about Bruce, apathy?
No, I'm too lazy and apathetic myself.
Okay,
So
but
you are challenging the apathetic levels.
Yeah, I'm a non.
What
I'm
Canadians
a
are apathetic? Okay.
I'm a non-normative Canadian, right? And I lived 2 years in Southeast Asia, 3 years in the United States, 7 years in Central America. I've spent a lot of time, a fair amount of time in India. I've been all over the world, right? I'm living my own metaculture now. I'm a culture of one. This is what happens when you live in other countries and you start to absorb things. But look, you will always be anchored to and connected to at some level to your birth culture. And so, I follow Canadian politics just like old Portuguese guys in Canada watch European soccer and get a special satellite service for it. So, but Canadians are just, the apathy seems to be cracking a little bit now. And I'm wondering what's going to happen when it does crack. If you're going to have like one of those rage explosions like you see in China, right? Because harmony is so big in Chinese society and population is so dense and everybody is so civil. And, people are extremely tolerant of a lot of things, but when they lose it, they completely lose it. Like a street vendor will grab 2 meat cleavers and chase you for a block. I've seen it with my own eyes. And he's just in a psychotic rage. And so I wonder what's going to happen when the apathy pops in Canada. And the apathy is just, we don't question authority. And you got to look at the history of Canada, right? We've never really had to defend ourselves. The United States, we're sitting on one of the largest resource bases in the world. We couldn't defend for 5 minutes if we weren't the friendly northern neighbor of the United States. I mean, already we're getting all kinds of outrageous statements being said about the Arctic. I mean, up until some time ago, nobody questioned the fact that the Arctic was Canadian property. It wasn't, maybe not written down, but tacitly understood by everybody. Well, not last 15 years, no, man. I mean, the Russians went in there with a MIDI sub and put a flag on the bottom of the Arctic. The Chinese have said openly in Beijing now in their parliament, in whatever you call that CPC government, Politburo, whatever you call it.
Circle jerk.
Yeah, they dispute any ownership or claim to sovereignty over the Arctic. And this is, of course, because Northwest Passage is open, which is going to become the most dominant shipping route in the world. It's going to make the Panama Canal obsolete, right? So it's all heating up. We can't do anything about it. We're at our lowest point ever between American and Canadian relations. The other one, you know what the other one was? When Idiot's father was in, Pierre Trudeau. I mean, the CIA was monitoring Pierre Trudeau all the time. Nixon hated that fucking guy. Who's this commie just north of us? What the fuck is going on? Did nobody send the memo to a Canadian fax machine? And now
even have fax machines in Canada?
No, eh?
There we go.
It was not natural. I did that on purpose. That was not natural.
I know you ate on purpose.
Yeah. So this is the predicament. It's I'd be interesting to see some. Come on. I would be interested to see some statistics on percentages of vaccinated people per capita, on nation by nation. I'll bet you Canada's at the very, very top of the list, right?
Mm-hmm. Please, you're a bunch of conformists. Now, Santo had put something in the chat room about his apathy. He wants to call out the Aussie apathy. So, Robert, bring on Santo. As Santo is running to his phone right now. Wait, oh no,
Santo,
they're calling on me.
Come to your phone.
Actually, there's a band that was from Melbourne called This Is Serious Mum, or they abbreviated their name to TISM. And now all the young people say TISM instead of autism. It just ruined the search engine's really bad. They have a song. One of their famous songs is I'm interested in apathy.
Santo, are you there?
Yeah, feeling a bit apathetic this morning.
You sound a bit off mic too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Barely. You sound like you're 20 feet away from your phone.
Yeah, we hear you.
Well, I got my head almost in the bloody computer. It's a bad computer I'm using. Sorry, guys. So I don't know what it sounds like.
It sounds like your microphone settings are off. Anyways, so you wanted to call out the Aussie apathy. Please call out the Aussie apathy.
Well, it's part of the culture. You know, so you virtually got a cancel culture that's missing the actual point that needs to be cancelled, but the apathy is kind of distracting them to focus on other things. But we love apathy down here because we have a saying, she'll be right, mate. So we're just sitting around.
That's
that's not really apathetic. It can be used apathetically, yeah.
So, and I have to point out, to use the phrase "love apathy" is the most incredible oxymoron I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, well,
that's the paradox.
Yeah.
Apathy is the absence of fashion, and love is the height of fashion. So, well done, sir. Well done. It's like a Chinese professional ping pong game talking to you.
Well, it aptly describes the mood. It very aptly, everything that's being said and the way it's being said very aptly describes the moment we seem to be living in. A mixture of apathy and the odd bit of excitement that has no real ability to focus in terms of its direction and where to apply it. And so we then just fall back into apathy.
Okay.
Well, so I think it also, it's very similar. If I can, I'll bring in my example from Pink Floyd, because Australia started out as a very British colony. So you've got that, the Commonwealth background, but we're multicultural as well. So it's, the apathy is not across the board. But basically, when Pink Floyd were fighting on tour, Nick Mason, the drummer, basically said, it got that bad, we nearly said something. So that's the English version of it. And then you move that, you take that and put it into a really hot country where it's too hot to do anything. And that's basically Australian apathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's stiff upper lip politeness, but it's fucking hot.
I think somebody has to, at this point, ask the question out loud. Is this really apathy, or is the Western world in clinical shock? Have we just been hit with so much bullshit, albeit digitally, through the news, through all of these non-literal expressions of what's going on around us? But I think a kind of dislocation, a cognitive dissonance has occurred due to an overload of negative data. I mean, if this was a real world event like a car accident, we'd call it shock. But I don't think shock applies here. But it's something like shock.
It does.
It's not apathy. You can't.
No.
There's no way you could be fully cognizant of what's really going on in this world right now and be apathetic to it. So they're not cognizant of it. Therefore, they don't even have the option to. Yeah.
Hey, Bruce,
what's the difference?
What's the difference, Bruce, between what you're describing as apathy and just deer in headlights? You know, just kind of that zombie frozen. Now, whether it's due to shock or is it just lack of the individual's discipline and focus to just get on? A
mixture. If I can add, as well as like the whole pandemic lockdown aspect that tapped into the primal fear of death. And I think if you start there, everything you're saying makes sense, because it's not shock, it's not apathy, because there are people that have fallen for the programming, plus 18 months of just propaganda from the media and the government. There are people saying, oh, no, we get the vaccines, we'll save grandma, I'm doing the right thing, humanity could be saved. Everyone that doesn't want to do that is a complete moron and doesn't ask, there's that lack of conversation. So if you go back to the start of it, the primal fear of death, does that help? For me, it does, but...
Well, yeah, that's a little bit esoteric in the sense that so much information is already out there. Are we going to wait and stand in a big circle and play spin the bottle to figure out who does what move first in the we categories? It's becoming quite bizarre that we have so much information now that is able to be kind of practically massaged in some form to some form of we momentum solution but somehow the spell seems to be so powerful that even those with that momentum are finding it difficult. They can't even move like a frigging tortoise. So what the hell's going on?
Because they're weighed down. Because they're weighed down with ideologies that are no longer have value in the modern world. Ideology and is one of those things that people can use as a self-destructive tool.
Yeah.
Okay? And ideologies can create apathy too. Okay, the whole idea that, you know, the United States is split between Trump and anti-Trump. Well, then there's the people that are in between who don't identify identity, who are apathetic to the Trumpers and non-Trumpers. And those numbers are growing gigantic, where apathy is the better choice right now. It isn't the lesser of two evils. It's I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and in as an example is if I'm talking to myself right now, if say Disney or Lucasfilm create something and I don't like it, the best thing is to apply apathy and not give it any energy. Because if I went online and whinged about it, you know, any publicity is good publicity, and they've metriced in to their plans. We should get some outrage from people here because they don't like it, so we know we're doing it good, blah, blah. But if you just withdraw, it's the same thing. You vote with your wallet. If you don't pay money, if you don't buy the product, eventually it will go away. And it's that level, using apathy for a positive instead of a negative.
Yeah, but Monty, but I just feel that suits your style because, man, if I was a hermit in that sense, I'd be like, yeah, I can handle this. But if you feel edgy, just, you know, in terms of not being able to do certain things, how long do you wait? So if they announce, your mate, Mr. Dan there, says, Monty, it's going to be 2024 before you can leave your cell. What the hell do you do?
Well, actually, I can apply that. I can apply that into a real world situation. There is a rumor that lockdown will be extended till next year, and like I've had conversations with Andrew about this, about false synchronicities and doing all that. But that's pushing me to actually go out and join the crowd, because another 4 months of doing the same thing and it's not working. It's like, yeah, I understand. There's a. How did you describe it yesterday, Andrew? Tipping point? Is that the right way of saying it?
Critical mass tipping point, yeah.
Yeah, because something has to happen, because even like technically the government has to make a step forward as well, where something has to happen, because it cannot continue on. We can't stay in pause because of atrophy, if I can say it that way.
That's why when I say nothing is happening is the best thing to happen.
Yeah. I think I'm finally seeing that. I think I'm finally seeing that statement in its full value now, Andrew. I understand it. I mean, I understood it about 70% when I first heard it, but now I'm getting near 100.
Right, because I've been saying it since 2012. Nothing is happening tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah.
No one's going to come down and save you until you do it for yourself. No revaluation of currency. It's all lies. And nothing is happening is the best thing that could possibly happen right now.
Yeah. We're really going to just run out of gas, have to get out of the car and walk.
And it comes down to perspective as well.
Or just sit there and complain and yell at the car.
Yeah.
Like most boomers.
Yeah, but you know what I find, Andrew? That works, you know, for an individual and works in this context and this kind of forum, this discussion. What I'm finding, you know, being a bit of an old fart, is my adult kids, and I've got 8 grandkids, and they're suddenly seeing things that they just didn't see. And it creates this absolute kind of unsettled state for them, which I understand. So to go from being happy in the kind of matrix way of saying things to, oh my God, it's broken, to, oh my God, I can see options. Oh my God, I'm stressed now because I don't know what to do. I'm deer in headlights. And you've got 3 kids to feed and a mortgage and all that sort of stuff. Like 2 of my kids are in healthcare and they're evaluating how they deal with that in terms of their careers. So there's a lot going on at the level of practicality for people that are just starting to wake up that have that kind of entanglement, you could say, with big cities or, you know, careers or whatever, or, you know, have families, you know, and they're concerned about this, you know. I don't know how you turn that into a comedic kind of reflection, but, you know, one of my
I'll tell you this.
I could be a prick
tell
about
you
it.
this. Tell you this right off the top. You have just taken the title from Monty. You, Santos, are now the most serious man in town.
Exactly, the most serious man in comedy.
Hey, well, yeah, once again, free will. It was their choice.
Right.
Like, I'm sure we shared this information. That's the interesting thing. Like, for myself, 16 years from watching a documentary, going, "Hang on, something's wrong," and getting to this level. A lot of people are going through 5 years, 6 years of going down a rabbit hole in a nanosecond, and so they're doing warp speed. And people like us are there to help them out psychologically, you know, as a counselor. It's like, it's okay. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Go down this rabbit hole. Have you heard of the Galactic Historian? He's got a great book that will help you as well.
So people,
hey Monty, deal with this one for me then. Put yourself in the shoes of my, you know, daughter or her partner, and their 5-year-old kid comes home from school and says, he's a little boy, says, "Mummy, can I be a girl? How can I be a girl?" How would you deal with that? You know,
through comedy. Teach through comedy. Get him to laugh about it. Okay, to find out and to inquire where that came from and what that really means through comedy. Don't be serious about it. Make him laugh. Tell jokes about it. Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, yeah, but isn't gender and a social, you know, and sex social construct? So, I mean, he can be a girl, obviously, via it, but, you know, tomorrow he could want to be a fire engine, or the day before, I mean, making decisions like that. So this is my issue with the whole transgender stuff. Go through puberty first, then make a choice. But it's political. Became political, and they're using the MacDonald's marketing system. Get them while they're young. But yeah, you use comedy, make them giggle, and it's like you just point out, well, you know, I mean, have you noticed how tomboys have disappeared because of transgenderism? And all a tomboy was is,
they became lesbians.
Yeah, and of course now lesbians. Yeah, a gay lesbian. What? There's a straight lesbian? Oh, that's me. They're called TERFs because they won't be with transgender women because they have penises. And every level there's division. It's like, really?
Yeah, and really there it's just a decision between plastic or skin because they're still using the phallic.
Oh, yeah, I know. Don't bring in logic. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's just, again, we'll go back to that money line that Andrew had 10 minutes ago about, you know, the toxicity of ideology, how dangerous it can be. It's extremely dangerous, right? Not just Marxism, all ideology. It's arsenic for the mind in a lot of ways. Not that you can't engage them and enrich yourself from studying some of these ideologies, but some people, like everything, some people become zealots in religion, some people become zealots in ideology. So
yeah. Oh, I just had a thought, like, you know, I want to be a girl. How can I be a girl? Well, why stop there? You could be a deity. Just go, skip to the end.
Yeah.
But you're right, Monty. But the problem is, I agree. You know, comedy, whatever, laughter can potentially dissipate the most dense energy. But the ability to do it in a way that works these days can be quite difficult because sometimes you can feel very relaxed and come up with what you think is a brilliant one-liner and you get shot down and you think, man, where's my audience? You know, what happened? Why all the seriousness around this life? You know, it's so, the timing of how to interface now seems to need a PhD in discernment before you get out of bed. You know, because even my cat has a go at me when I try to be funny with him now. You know, he just kind of scratches me for no reason. I'm like, it's a joke.
Yeah, well, it's a cosmic joke. The Prime Creator writes the best jokes, and I that judgment meeting after I die is going to be very interesting. You fucking what? I am just a reflection. Oh, fuck off. There's that Australian apathy. Like, yeah, whatever. Oh, so I'm the center of my universe. Fucking great.
That's not apathetic. That's actually an attack. See, a real line, we just turn your head, whatever.
So well, yeah, I'm being Generation X.
That's North Coast where I'm at, because I'm on the North Coast.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Big Erie is right there.
Babylon Beast released. I'm going to probably get it wrong, but apparently, someone's suing reality. Comedians are suing reality because it's very hard to actually do parody and satire at the moment.
Got to sue the joke police.
No, it's basically reality's funnier. Life is something than fiction. So
truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah, because fiction has to make sense. I think that's a Mark Twain quote. I like this Mark Twain. He's an interesting chap.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is that sometimes these, you're talking about whatever it is, these doctrines or whatever belief systems and whatnot that hold us back. But depending on the culture, you can see whether it's Jewish or, I know, my Sicilian background, the language cannot be replicated because of the specific humor they were able to build during those periods of cultural trauma or whatever trauma they suffered. And it was the survival through those periods with humor and the survival of that style that is unique. And it's very, very difficult to translate. But when you understand that it kind of percolated and was able to originate in a particular form of almost suffering, which sounds weird. So then you ask the almost philosophical question of where's suffering fit in with the ability to laugh at life? Or can you just laugh and go, dodge a bullet, didn't suffer one bit?
Well, when you remember that there's no such thing as death.
Yeah, but you look at it, Monty, how many stand-up comedians actually have experiences of real life kind of suffering trauma that they mask incredibly well on stage? Is there a relationship between suffering and the ability to really laugh at life?
Yes, there is. And unfortunately, that's the comedy industry that uses traumatized comedy as an advancement of those individual comedians.
Tears of a Clown.
Yeah, Tears of the Clown,
Yeah.
exactly.
And also, you can broad spectrum, apparently, you can only make advancements through trauma on the earth. Well, fuck you. Not everything has to be. It doesn't have to be traumatic. You would know someone in your life, in your lifetime. You would have probably met someone, or even briefly, that have that perfect life. And when I say perfect life, they have challenges because that makes it perfect. But they're not on psychotropic drugs or anything else like that. They seem to be. They're happy. They're genuinely happy, and they're living their life to the fullest, whatever framework it is. And it's as a reflection, it's like there's an element of jealousy and anger, but then you realize, well, no, it can be done on this planet. You don't have to be assaulted by a priest at the age of 3 to become the greatest comic on the world. You can see how it can be. It's feasible because they use comedy to transmute it. However, Andrew, help me out here. Jim Carrey, like a comic that hasn't had any fucking trauma at all, but they're one of the greats. I think Jim Carrey is probably one of them. His dad was really funny.
Yeah,
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. There's a bunch of them that are out there. Yeah, can't say Bill Cosby anymore.
No. Well, that's afterwards. Like I don't know Bill's earlier life and what he went through. Pryor, on the other hand, I think he basically went to the social edge and tackled stuff. Now, clearly, while he was a comic, he went through a lot of shit. Yeah. I set myself on fire and ran down Hollywood Boulevard, and I made material out of it. I made a movie out of that. But there was a lot of comedians that actually, it's not a hard and fast rule where everyone, you have to be sad and depressed. Even Mike Wilmot, the Canadian, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he is grumpy or not, but the persona on stage, it's an act on stage. And I remember him saying, like, it's great to be here. I'm from Canada. It's snow and French people. It's great to be here. So it's,
he could have done
I'm
so much more.
100% with you, Monty, in that what you're saying. And I agree. Don't have to be a stand-up comedian. Don't have to be a professional at all. And it's quite interesting because I have friends, they just call, I have this nickname, they call me Lucky Cavallaro, because it's kind of like, oh, you can't be happy because it's just luck. So in other words, this sort of controlled way of creating happiness is funny in and of itself. So to be able to spontaneously go, yeah, don't have too much or whatever, but I'm happy. No, you're lucky, which is interesting that people are
well, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. Now, obviously, it's from a movie, but there's an element of luck. But if you look at spiritually, it's like, is it luck, or did you make the right decision in the womb to set you up in that scenario to have your conscious lower self to make a choice that does look like it was lucky?
Exactly. Whichever way you want to look at it, you can make fun and you can make it funny and you can call it a synchronicity. You can call it luck, but the bottom line is, if you're happy, you're happy. And if you can have a laugh, you can have a laugh. Put whatever spin you want on it. But people don't seem to appreciate that simplicity these days. They want to bring it down because there's all this serious stuff going on. How can you be so flippant? So it's very interesting time.
Yeah. That's their issue though. Like, why always joking? Well, if life is a collection of small moments, I want to be laughing instead of being in pain and fear.
All right, Santo, thanks for calling in. So this is the time where I pass on to Monty and to Bruce to encourage people to raise their hand. Because you know what I'll do. I'll insult those mofo cunts.
Yeah. Well, now see, like, because Santo was, we brought Santo on because he wanted to share an idea. We can talk to you nicely. So yeah, raise your hands. Chat. You've got two Commonwealth. What's a collective of
last time you got like five. Last time you got like five hands.
But Canadian, Canada and Canada. Yes, that's Canada. How do you say Canadian in Commonwealth?
Canadian.
Canada.
Oh, fuck, Jesus. No, you dumb. I'm a writer. I use words. There's the Commonwealth. Yeah, Canada, yeah. Canadian. Commonwealth. Yeah. Commonwealthian? No. To be fair, I speak bad. Communication.
Member of the Commonwealth. There is no way to create the word you're trying to create there.
They are commoners in the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Oh, the American with the ego steps in. How fascinating! we left the British Empire that we have to pay each year. Wasn't that what the 1812 war was about?
Yes.
Exactly. Now we have 3 raised hands, yo.
Okay. You are in charge, Monty. You run the callers.
Right. All right. Everyone donate to Wafer Thin Entertainment right now, and then we'll continue with the show. All right. Robert, spin up the triangle of callers and see who wins the golden ticket to our chocolate factory.
Rainbow, you're the first person tonight with the guys.
Hello, Rainbow.
Hello.
Hi.
What part of the flat earth are you calling from? Yes, that's a joke.
I'm calling from Toronto.
Whoa!
Oh, Canuck.
Yeah, I went to Ryerson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you come a little closer to your voice? You sound like you're underwater 50 feet away.
How's this? Is this better?
No, that's even worse.
Not really.
I'm on a phone.
Are you on speaker? Are you on the speaker phone?
I think so, but when I held it right to...
Yeah, get off a speaker phone. Or plug a headset in, because right now it's really, really, really hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Nice room echo, though.
Let's see. I don't know. I've never used this app in this way before.
It sounds like you're covering the speaker's microphone with your hand.
I'm totally not. Oh, wait. Is that any better?
Oh, there we
yes.
go.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. Okay. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 2021.
Perfect.
Nothing works, so who knows these days where... Yeah.
That's great.
You're in the room.
I'm in the room.
Zoom away.
Well, I recently enjoyed story time.
Zoom away.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I recently enjoyed story time with Monty and Bruce. I listened to the Stardust Ranch audiobook. It was fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it, and it scared the shit out of me, and it was fun, and yeah, it was great. But it reminded me of a story from my teenage years. Back in the day, I was about 16. I was going to my boyfriend's house, and I'm sitting on a subway train. I was minding my own business, and I noticed some old woman sitting across from me, and she's like really fucking creepy for some reason. And I noticed there's just something off about her eyes, and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm thinking, and my brain just starts going wild, and I think, okay, well, maybe she's reading my mind. And I'm like, okay, I can't let her read my mind. I can't let her in. So I start just jabbering in my mind as crazy madness. This old crazy woman is like trying to get in there for some reason. And, and then all of a sudden she just stands up and bolts off the train. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then later I was thinking about it, like, did I imagine that whole scenario, or like did I psychically blast some poor old woman who was minding her business?
I was going to say that this grandma went home and was like, you never would guess what happened on the train today. I was just sitting there minding my own business, and this young lady started staring at me with daggers.
I either fucked up some like alien in disguise, or some poor innocent old lady, or maybe she was legit trying to read my mind. I don't know, but the book reminded me of that moment because she sort of had completely black eyes. The book also made me
not quite sure how to take that, Monty.
Here she just wasn't homeless.
We wasn't trying to write a scary book. We weren't trying to scare people. There's an element of dramatic tension that some people might use fear to describe, but I mean, you got over it. Actually, it can be a bit scary now that I think about it. Sorry about that. I had to go back. That's 2 years ago. I had to go back to that book.
I'm glad to have feedback of people can understand what I'm saying, and it makes sense. And that's not having a go at what's written. It's my interpretation of what's written. So I'm like, oh, good. Because, listening to me for 7.5 hours, I can't do that.
It totally made sense. It was great.
Oh, good.
What did you get from the audiobook? What are some of the things you pulled out of it?
That there are some very powerful things in this world that we don't understand, and it made me contemplate, like, how would you actually resolve something like that? Do you just pick up right away and move, which I probably would, or you stay and fight? Like, and it was a
job. Yeah. So would you kill a bunch of gray aliens and FedEx one to Michigan?
No.
Well,
I have a hard time killing them, I think. I mean, maybe if it's like a moment of self-defense, I'd be like, fuck you,
But you're not really killing them, because once you kill the body, but the consciousness moves back to the hive mind, doesn't it? It's not the death of consciousness when you kill a grey.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe I'm just trying to justify in my own head if I kill one.
Instead of to kill a mockingbird, it's to kill a grey.
Yeah. Well, with my experience with, it wasn't the greys, but they were using the perception filter of greys. I killed one and they sent me back. So, like, it's probably why the aliens won't talk to me. It's like, that one's cranky. There's a little tag on me. He's like, do not disturb.
You think it's like a video game for them? You kill one and they just end up, at the beginning in the regen tank or whatever.
Some of them was like that. Some of them was like that. But you got to realize that gray is not a procreating species. It's like a car model that people buy and incorporate and become corporeal.
If you saw the reimagining of Battlestar Galactica in the noughties, it's similar to that, where they had 6 models and they couldn't actually replicate. They could just build instead of actually using but their thing, if they had the resurrection ship close enough, when the body dies, the element of consciousness would go back and they could download into another body.
Cool.
Yeah. You should watch Battlestar Galactica. It's awesome.
I should.
Yeah,
is that why
the new one.
So destructive and angry because they can't have sex? Just like fucking humans.
No, they can. They just can't procreate.
I see.
Because that's how at the start of it they use their wily ways to corrupt the Gaius Baltar, and so they can have sex because they've got the right bits everywhere. It's just they can't procreate.
Yeah, and Tricia Helfer is amazing on that show. Another Canadian.
Yes, she's very easy on the eye, but it's like you forget that because she is a fantastic actress and she got the character as well, because it's just not one robot she portrays. She's portraying a whole subsection of robots, and so each one has slightly different personality type thing. And it's just watch it and come back in month and go, yes, you were right, because it's highly well. Actually, when I recommend this show, watch the mini series, the first 3 hours. And if you like that, keep going. If you don't, because that's like the taste test. If you like that, you'll just plow through the 4 seasons.
Yeah. And like most people, you'll be slightly disappointed at the end, but it's still good.
It ends, but it's not a whimper.
There should have been 6 more episodes, is what it should have been.
Yeah, but it's fascinating. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Anything else other than scary as a final thought on Stardust Ranch Rainbow?
It was really engaging. Like
Thank you.
Couldn't stop listening. It was, like really well laid out, and it made a lot of sense, and it had a good flow.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I blew Bruce's mind. Yeah, the spacing in this is perfect. It's like, I could tell you a secret right now, but thank you. Yeah, it's obviously it's a great script, so.
I was curious about your recording process. Did you just do that in your home kind of thing? And
this microphone into this computer,
not bad.
Using I've got a Mac and I just use Logic Pro 10 or X. So like a fancy garage band could have done the same thing. So that's basically it. Very, very simple.
Just effort, lots of effort.
Well, there is effort as well, because I'm not in a soundproof booth, and so I would have to pause as the car drove by.
I remember motivating Monty early on. You could do it. He's like, I don't know. These cars are everywhere. Do it at night. They're still out there driving.
So I would do it. Oh, that's a perfect line, and then in the background, Scoffy, meow. Fuck. Fucking stupid, fucking. But it was good. It was good. And well, you've heard the end result, so it could take like a chapter that's 15 minutes long. It would take me 5 hours to edit.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
However, the good thing about this type of stuff is you chip away at it. It's not like I learn Hamlet and have to do it every night. It's chapter 4 is finished. It's going on the shelf. I'm sending it to Bruce, and if I hear nothing back from Bruce, it's going on the fucking internet, and now it's being sold. Like, it's bang, done that. Living in the past now if I go back.
I was wondering if you just sort of had to read the whole thing first just to absorb it, and then like once you had
I bought the book and read the book, and then I did my interview with Bruce and John, which is on my YouTube channel. Which is kind of semi-popular because it's Bruce and John. And then I'm trying to remember. I don't think I read. Then Bruce sent me a PDF of the book. I don't think I read it all, but I tried to read the chapters beforehand just to remind myself, and so I didn't have to pause because there was a different recording style. Then it was a good experience because I know how I do it slightly quicker in the actual said recording of it because I learn stuff. But yeah.
So I'll bring you up to speed. I'll bring you up to August 20th and the life and times of Stardust Ranch, the incredible true story Rainbow. So it appears as though John Edmonds and the ranch are going to be the subject of an experiment conducted by Harvard Medical School and other private sector scientists, PhDs, one of whom has a degree in medical physics. They want to measure electromagnetic waves in and around the ranch, gamma rays. So there's the interest in Stardust Ranch goes on and on and on and on, and it's a lot's happened since the book came out, and it's quite a roller coaster ride for John Edmonds. He had a health issue. What was it now, Andrew? About 6 weeks ago, 2 months, 6 weeks ago. But he's in a wheelchair now, and he'll be in rehabilitation for some time, months, if not a year, and needs multiple operations as a result of an accident on the ranch where an artery in his chest between his stomach and his heart exploded, and he had to get to the hospital. And so there's a lot going on, and at the same time, there's a lot of renewed focus. Some film and television producer people have been talking to us. So that book has a kind of half-life that just keeps going and going and going. So it was really fun to write, and thank you for listening to it, reading it through Monty's brilliant audiobook.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, Darlene, thanks a lot for calling in. Let's get to the next caller before we end the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot for calling in.
All right, Robert, time to flip that coin because there's only 2 people with their hands raised. So,
okay, Lisa, you're next.
Hello.
Hello, Lisa. Are you there? Where are you calling from?
Just in the Houston area of Texas.
Oh, nice. A land of freedom.
Yeah, very free where I'm at, and quite steamy, so it's easy to be apathetic. I understand.
Yeah, you know where I'm coming. It doesn't rule your life, but it really it's in the background. Like, fuck, it's hot.
Well, the benefit though is it does force you to slow down, which I think we all need to, because the speed up is really, really dizzying.
Yes, yeah, there's that. Yeah, Australians are lazy. Well, you try and live in 38-degree heat all the time.
Well, and what is it humid there too?
Depending on what part of the country. I mean, Australia is slightly bigger than the continental United States. So, like Houston, see that would be sort of Darwin-esque. Queensland, Gold Coast is very Florida, but I'm not. I'm kind of near Seattle. You know, I'm being very loose with terms here, so no one pick. It's not the same, but it's like a 3,000 kilometers, which is what 1,500 miles, from Perth to Sydney, or 4,000 or something like that. So, yeah, Perth to Sydney can be LA to New York. I think that's how it works.
Well, we woke up with I don't know, it was around 79 degrees and the dew point was around 81. So the humidity was 95%, and it was, basically you get fog and then it all raises, and then the clouds form and then it all dumps back down and then rinse and repeat. So yeah, no, I get that. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, because we talk about so many stories, and especially on this show, movies and all these stories, but it kind of just, I guess it reminds me of childhood when, you go to your parent and you start asking questions, or, tell me a story before bed, all that stuff. And one I remember asking my father was, what are belly buttons for? And my father, not being the literal person, because he does like to use comedy and he likes to teach through, that kind of thing. He ended up saying, well, the belly button is where you put the salt. And of course, I'm thinking, scratching my head, well, wait a minute. Why would I put salt in my belly button? He goes, well, for the celery, of course. And I was, what? I don't get it. To dip the celery. Well, why would you dip celery in salt in your belly button? Now, it seems, like a silly little story, but that silly little story stuck with me into adulthood.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It just got me thinking of all these stories that we're telling. And it could be what Andrew's talking about with a lot of the alien races and inner Earth stuff, and the stories, the galactic history stories, or it could be the stories the government telling us and what we should do because it's for the greater good, or it could be the stories we tell ourselves because we're working off of all these stories, programs, whatever that we've been told. And it just got me thinking about how funny it is that we continue to buy all these stories and just get sucked into all these stories. So yesterday's show, I kept saying, I got your stories here, because we all have our stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even there's a saying, like in conspiracy world, I heard this story. I don't know if it's true, but it's a good story. Metaphor and myth, which I know Bruce and Andrew get into in the book, because most myth, there's hardly any myth that's made up completely. There's always some type of base in reality. Like, there's video out there now of a woman twerking on a duck. And I just, I just commented, it was like, oh, fuck, Zeus is back. Because,
lucky that the duck didn't attack that woman.
Yeah, I know. The duck was very, very calm and collective. But it's, the
duck was enjoying the show.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it was Zeus, because all these women got pregnant. Zeus came down as a pig or a bull. It's like, bitch, you've been fucking.
Duck, duck, goose.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you slut.
Oh boy. Well,
so yeah,
anyway,
there's elements of myth, as well as by watching movies, you don't live your life through movies, but by seeing the stories, you can connect to a story of like, oh, so that's what it's like to be a black slave in 1835, and you escape. You don't actually have to be entrenched in slavery and try and survive from the bloodhounds, but you have that kind of connection in the holographic aspect of like, oh, okay, that's what it's like, and your reactions to watching the movie or whatever is yourself. But we don't. As the example is Bashar, not the leader of Syria. Everyone saw the movie 2012 and gone, well, this movie is shit house, and they chose on a sole point that there won't be a pole flip. So you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, so that's a pole flip. No, we won't do that.
Well, I mean, we also relate to characters because it taps into something deep within our own experience, whether it's this lifetime or a different. And when you watch the story, like your example of the person who is enslaved and breaks free, I mean, we've all been, I mean, I don't know, maybe Andrew, you can confirm or deny this, but we've all been enslaved as, whether it be, a person of color in a, particular situation. Kind of, we've all been, in war, killing others. We've all raped. We've all been raped, in our lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We've acquired all of the same traumas, all of the same dramedies. We've experienced that all. And the history, as we talk about and you guys talk about, rinse and repeat. It keeps repeating itself because why? Because we keep attaching ourselves. This is who we are. This is our story. And you must understand my story. Well, we all understand each other's story. We just have to start coming to terms that we've all lived the story over and over. And then it comes back around to, aren't we getting tired of this? You
Yeah,
know, but
because you
the
forget every
looping.
time. No, because you
Yeah.
forget every time.
yeah, we forget every time, and we forget that we actually chose to come here knowing that we would be forced to forget.
And part of the
And-
great remembering is remembering what we forgot. And all the times you're like, fuck, why are we doing this again?
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
and then
we
it's
forgot.
and then it's
I
like,
love that
oh,
quote.
We're gonna make sure we never forget again.
yeah, and then it's like, oh, and then I think of that little kid in shoot, the Fockers. Asshole. like, oh my God, you asshole. I can't believe you chose to do this again. And then of course we get someone like Andrew and then Adventures into Reality. And yeah, Andrew, I was wondering, can you tell me my purpose?
No, I can't.
You're right. Well, that's my thing. That's my point is it's like, well, if we can't figure out our own purpose by figuring out that we've all been through this all before and we keep putting ourselves through it, it's like we're choosing this revolving door. And then we turn around and get upset when somebody, stops and then makes us walk into the door.
Right. And then there's the temper tantrum happens. Why am I a slave here? I don't want to be a slave. I want to leave. This isn't my home. I don't belong here.
Yeah, I want to go home. I want to go home. It's like you've been here 30 million years. This is kind of your home.
and then we go as far as to say, well, I have choice. I have the freedom of a vote. I'm going to pick my person that I want to lead me. Unbeknownst to me, they're leading me down the
I give
fill
consent.
in the blank.
I give consent, but I won't look at the fine print of the contract that I'm giving consent to.
Yep. And then we let our chosen leaders or our chosen journalists tell us what the story is and what our part is.
And one of the greatest T-shirts that should be made for Andrew's organization, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, it's me, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Hi, Donald. Thanks for calling in. We got a couple other callers we want to get to before we end the show. Holy shit, a bunch of people raise their hands.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see what happens when you're nice? Yeah. Swine.
Thanks, Lisa. You inspired some people.
Yes. Well, actually, it was Lisa, not me. But yeah, being nice. Right. Which fuckhead's coming on next? I mean, sorry. Robert, please spin up the wheel of callers and let's continue on with. Yes, Alan, you will get a 6D bus pass. You have to get the 5D first. Who's our next caller?
Ziva Amrita de Pazzi something.
All right. I'll let Bruce take that.
Ziva Amrita de Paz y Amor.
Buenos
Yeah, see how it rolls.
señora.
It rolls off the tongue, eh?
¿Cómo estás?
So
what?
Buenas tardes, todo el mundo. I'm here in the Ecuadorian Amazon.
Wow.
I am, however, an expat U.S. American. However, Andrew, like you, and I love you, darling, because I was born in 1955 to very new immigrants that were named Russian. We actually only have about 3 drops of Russian blood in the whole bunch. I'm the family historian. We have Yakut, Cheremis, Kazakh. I'm a massive Eurasian mutt. Anyway, having grown up, born in Manhattan, baby, going to Russian Orthodox Church, and sometimes when we were not on time for the Russian Orthodox Church, we'd go to the Greek Orthodox Church. On the other level, I was also raised by traditional elders in our immigrant community. I was really, really, really lucky because I was raised by elders who had worked with the Roriks. And even though Nikolai was dead and Elena and her son had moved to India, there was still the art. And I actually got to see some of his art as a little girl in person. Now, I've been living in Ecuador 8.5 years. I am really curious, Andrew, if you can share, you started talking about Inner Earth. And as you know, down here, we have tunnels that go all the way from Lake Titicaca, at least up to Quito, and probably as far up throughout Colombia. So I am really, really curious what you can say about the nasties in the inner earth here in South America.
It's a comedy show.
Oh,
This is a comedy show. That you got to save that for another call in.
oh,
Okay.
hell.
Sorry,
Well,
but
well, you
I
wanna
don't.
laugh?
I don't. No. Because
No, no, no.
it's very serious stuff.
Then, well, good. It's serious stuff, and I will call in for another show where I can ask that. But the comedy show, let me tell you the comedy show. I am sitting here in South America, and I'm like in the southernmost province of Ecuador. And I'm watching what's going on with all of my North American friends, and they're freaking me out. These are people.
Bruce is in a similar position because I'm sure you and Bruce can walk to each other. Even Robert, all three of you can meet up at a cafe somewhere. It'll be
meet at Robert's. Robert would be in the middle. How about Sunday?
There you go. Yeah, meet at Robert's. However, Bruce, because let
me just get my saddle back from my brother.
Yeah, exactly. But you're because you
saddle. Don't you ride bareback, baby? I'm Scythian. I'm Cossack. We ride. I'm Mongol.
Bruce likes it bareback. Bruce likes it bareback. Bruce is a barebacker.
Are you talking about horse riding there, Andrew? Anyway,
that was the subject of the conversation, baby.
Just checking. It's a comedy show. But yeah, Bruce and yourself have that outside point of view of looking in at North America. So
it's real weird.
I am in between shaking my head and laughing my ass off because people who I have known forever, people who I was an activist with 40, 50 years ago, are so sucked into the propaganda. And I'm like, on one hand, I'm laughing. On the other hand, I'm like, what are we going to do with them? How do we communicate with them?
You don't.
No.
Not until they're done having their temper. Not until they're done having their temper tantrum.
Baby want a bottle.
Exactly. So they're done with their temper tantrum. You can't talk to them. Okay. Did you raise kids? Did you raise children?
No, darling, I did not. I have not one child.
Okay. Have you ever tried to talk to a kid in a temper tantrum? It don't work.
Oh, yes, I have raised. Okay. I was everybody. Okay, you know what? I have a whole shitload of young people who are anywhere from their 30s, 40s, 50s, who still call me their Auntie Mame.
Well, good.
So yeah, I kind of feel like I'm dealing with a bunch of toddlers who are screaming and yelling and ay.
That's what all those political, they're just children temper tantruming.
The good news is, here in the Amazon, I am in the southernmost province. There are not a lot of gringos here. There are few North Americans, very few. There are a handful of Russians, which is great because I have my Russian family now and we speak Russian and they invite me for like the meals where you want to eat Russian. But in general, I gotta say, indigenous people down here in this country is 65% indigenous. They all remember when the colonialists arrived 500 years ago and wiped out entire tribes, not just villages, but tribes with these weird diseases. So people are being cautious, but they're also using what we call ancestral medicine. They're not all that hip to the new pharmaceutical magic of the day.
Yeah, that white man's magic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta say, we got the propaganda coming from our government too. And what are we gonna do? The last guy, this guy, they weren't put in place by the Ecuadorian people. They were put in place by the multinationals and by North America. So there's plenty of propaganda trying to get everybody to be scared. And just like, I read international news a lot, and I got friends in Oz, so I'm very hip to what's going on in Australia. And you will certainly appreciate this. I believe, my dear, that every time he posts something on Facebook about what's going on in Australia, in the comments, he puts a 10-hour loop of circus music.
Yeah, that's why when people ask, so what's happening in politics in Australia? I have no fucking idea. They're boring as batshit and dumb as fucking rocks. Like, so clear me, like the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme that plays a lot down here when politicians are on screen. Maybe just in my head. Because it's like really. So I mean, they keep pointing out that they're so out of touch. We've been having anti-lockdown protests here in Melbourne. You can understand why. However, the Premier, which is the leader of the state here in Victoria, was basically saying it's wrong, it's illegal. I'm very upset with them because from his perspective, there's a deadly virus and people getting together is going to continue doing damage. But he let slip out, I don't even know what they're protesting. And the journalist has gone, you. Well, fair enough. Good for them. It's like, really? Yeah. Yeah, 12 months into a lockdown and they're protesting and you don't know what they're protesting about. How out of touch are you? And Biden did the same thing with that interview, 3 days ago or something like that. So, Mr. President, what do you think about those people that are falling off the planes? And his response, that was 2 or 3 days ago. So remember that when you're in a court of law, you're a serial killer. But Your Honor, that was 2-3 days ago. I mean, you're living in the past, mate. Just calm down.
All right, Darren, thanks a lot for calling in, Darren. We got a couple other calls we want to get to.
Thank you for the call.
All right, Robert. Go
ahead, I'm here.
Signal Robert to do his thing.
Hello.
Do your thing.
Sam Boomer.
Ooh.
Okay, Boomer.
How's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you calling from?
Manchester, England.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Another brave soul. Just say that for anyone nowadays. How is the UK these days? Because I've got some friends there and it seems a bit nutty. That government is,
not nutty good like macadamias or cashews. Crazy is what he means.
Yeah.
I get it. To be honest with you, I'm completely detached from all that narrative.
Good work.
I'm just so in my own little bubble. I'm just doing my own little thing, living my own little hermit life. I'm in the Winchester until it all blows over. That's kind of what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm similar, and I'm aware of all this stuff, and I wear a mask so I don't get fined. But apart from that, I'm doing better than I did 2 years ago. So I've improved. Yeah, it the hermit life for me. We should meet up at the next Hermits Unite meeting. That's in 3 years. So we'll be fine. But as Andrew and David Ellis have pointed out, COVID is the gift that keeps on giving. If you look from it from the right perspective, and you can see how it is unfolding, where like you saw last year, where they went into lockdown, and because people didn't have a 40-hour week job to distract them, they completed Netflix, Pornhub. They started growing vegetables. They started looking at all the documentaries. A lot of people wised up to what's going on. So it's one of those things. In the middle of it, it kind of sucks, but once it ends, we can see this kind of a golden age, a mini golden age. Once we're out of it.
Oh yeah, totally. Like the past since lockdown happened, I just kind of went so deep inside. I don't want to get too serious, but just to respond to what you're saying, yeah, completely echo that. Just been really doubling down on the inner work and doing all that business.
Well, we can bring in some comment. Oh, go ahead. I was going to.
The reason I've actually called up, right? I've not been keeping up with most of today's show, but I was listening to the show from 2 weeks ago. You know, the swearing show.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. And I was really inspired to hear that material again because I actually heard the original show that Andrew did with whenever it was last year during the summer solstice, and those revocations were fucking awesome. They were really, really fucking cool, and I really enjoyed. I don't know what the name of the guy was. The guy who did the rap revocation.
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah. That was just so fucking badass. Like, I enjoyed revisiting that so much. It was such a nice surprise to hear today. I was just milling about in my kitchen, just kind of having a bit of a break from what I was doing. And it dropped and was like, yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's the shit.
Yeah.
That's right, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. Well, it breaks up the energy and it's channeling energy. It's a great funnel instead of having that repressed thing. I think that was the idea, wasn't it, Andrew, that you can, everything can be used positively.
So the whole point is how words can motivate you. And there were so many people that don't do the revocations because there's an air of seriousness about them that they won't confront. And when you add swear words to something, it takes the air of seriousness away and it allows you to enter that unique flow because motherfucker, this, that, the lizard's this. It's easy to throw the swear words in to keep you in flow.
Yeah, and interesting enough, there's a slight irony. The swear words take out the seriousness, but by putting the swear words in, it comes more intense and more serious at the same time.
The person speaking it, exactly.
Yeah.
Can I just come in here, guys?
Yeah. Sure.
The reason I called up is I wanted to share a swearing revocation if I could.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I actually, full disclosure, I actually wrote this last year when you set the homework, but I've used it a ton in fire ceremonies, just general, reading it to myself, and I've shared it with a few friends, and I've had some real fucking fun with it. Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'd like to share it.
Let it rip.
All right. I, in the ever-present moment of motherfucking now, open the baddest and most righteous court of spiritual fucking equity that all you cunts in the process of forced evolution have known and will ever know. For I am fully present right here, right now, in this moment of ever-present fucking moments to tell you how things are going to be from now on. This is not a conversation. This is not a request. This is not a suggestion or a debate on how things are going to be. This is the statement and reclamation of my I am fucking presence now from your non-physical grip of power you perceived you have. This verse address is to all you brothers and sisters and any other non-gendered and non-agenda beings of peace and unity. All of my ancestors of the ancient past, present and future. Now is the time for you to fucking stand up and prove yourself worthy of being my fucking ancestors. For the time of cowering and mediocrity and victimhood is over. It's time for you to step up and be your own fucking compounded standing DNA like body nation of universal one, operating in a full fucking unified expression and co-creative fucking force of this standing DNA like body nation, so we can fuck off these losers, freeloaders and spiritual groupies, harvesting all of our energy, using the infinite fucking fractality of our divine source stream fuck you energy to get them the fuck out of here, so we can once again enjoy the peace of our sovereign I am fucking selves now. Step up and be a fucking signature frequency match for fuck's sake, or else call yourself an ancestor of mine no more. It's time for you to make your choice, because the consciousness strike field is now in full effect. So to all you self-supposed and appointed fuckers of the great dreamtime denial, and all you pricks who are too blind to fucking see what is going on for your tacit complicity, here is a reality check for you. Get fucked. Seriously, fuck right off out of my sacred space. Do not dare court my divinity with your holy shit moments of manipulated religious ideologies of false light, false hope, an engendered prejudice designed to pervert and divide the human race into factions you can play off against one another. We will accept this fucking bullshit no more, for we recognize what you have done, are doing, and see how fucking stupid you think we are, that we'll let this perversion continue on any longer than it already has. I do not bow to your collective. I do not even recognize your collective to the extent that I would offer you my pity, because I pity the fool, for they know not what they do. But you and all you fucking cunts who dare challenge, take advantage, and pervert the peacemaker's good nature, you act in full knowingness of what you do. There is no fucking pity for you, no remuneration or the sanctity of second chances. You fucked with too many worlds, too many I ams, collectives, and lineages for that to be on the table right now. So fuck you. In this moment of ever-present fucking moments, it's time for your wake-up call. It's been 53 million years in the making. We're now kicking you to the galactic and universal curb. That's all you and your collectives are. Galactic curb crawlers, leeching off the life force of those who only wish to live peaceful and selfless lives. And yet even that is too much of a compliment, for there is not even an exchange of value of the life force you tacitly extract from us that can communicate the complete fuckness of your being. Do you understand? There is no container, no words, phrases, metaphors, or abstract symbolism that will do this. Your boring from me is over, you cunt-faced piece of shit. All fuckery, now and forevermore, is seen in the unseen layers. It is voided, nullified, revoked, and rebuked in this almighty co-creative power of all power takebacks. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're nothing more than self-righteous scum who feel entitled to mix and match me with my soul families, to sabotage my life walk and soul's journey? What the actual fuck gives you this right? Well, in any case, it matters no more, because what you couldn't predict with this I am slipping through the grid and putting all of my pieces parts back together in perfect fucking synchronicity to arrive in this now moment to knock the sacred neutral fuck out of you and all your fucking collectives. Know this, we'll stand for your fraud time bullshit no more, and I'll personally take that fucking icon grid of yours, entangle it around your multidimensional neck, and drag you back to the great galactic central sun for recyclement myself. We'll uncreate the living shit out of you so hard, it'll reverberate across all time streams, galaxies, and universes. Be under no illusion. The game is over on all layers of multidimensional reality, and no sentient life force will acknowledge your blatant fuckery as you pass out of this density and back to square one on the celestial game of snakes and ladders you set up only for your amusement and service to self. You are not my master or even my peer. At this stage of our collective and individual evolution, your perversion of the concept of oneness will not grant you any mercy. You will not gaslight your way out of this one, fuckers. Your spiritual narcissism ends right here, right now. And so this is it, the final rebuke and rebuttal of all your parasitic tendencies. Yet, do not mistake this as unjust polarity or lack of control you can use to extract harvestable life force. For I am the sacred fucking neutral chief of my own dominion. And in this consciousness strike field now are all of my rainbow warrior brethren who have taken up the mantle of responsibility to be on this full fucking union and communion consciousness strike. All of my soul family, past, present, and future I ams, soul shards, avatars, standing black body DNA nations, Earth Mother, celestial beings, and even Prime Creator itself. We are all standing here as one collective no-time voice, speaking in the fullness of our fuck off energy, telling you that your fraud time joyride is over. For this is the intervention of all galactic and universal interventions. Make no fucking mistake. The choice has been made and your recyclement scheduled. The iconic noose you abused us with has been fashioned into the leash we'll use to drag your ass all the way back to source. For if you did not choose to abuse us in the way that you have, you would not have created the potential for this choice. The choice of get fucked and get out of here. You would not have become a match for this most poetic of poetic fucking justices. Dragged back to source, entangled in your own matrix of choice point perversion. So be gone. Off you fuck back to source for your reassignment. Your unsovereign self is about to get schooled in universal etiquette. Enjoy your celestial lobotomy, you fuckers. Your entitled hierarchical tantrums are fooling no one. Get the fuck out and do not dare bring the polarity of perversion into any future time stream, galaxy, or universe in which I operate as a signature frequency fucking being of light for now and forevermore. You have been served, and so it is, as I am now. Aho.
Awesome. Fucking
Yeah, very
awesome.
nice.
Celestial lobotomy. Fucking awesome line.
I would like to see a classroom of 8-year-olds reciting that at the Olympics opening ceremony. Just fucking. I had that image. I don't know if some other entities in the galaxy were following along, but as you were speaking, I could hear a chorus, just angry English kids as well. Fucking, fucking, I know.
Yeah.
How fun was that for you to write?
I had such an unbelievable time writing that. I was like, I listened to that show originally last year, and I was just really super high frequency that day. I always remember it was a Friday, and that was just one of those days where I was just on it all day. I'm just like, I heard your homework, and when something just clicks inside you, it's like I had to do that right this second, and I did. It went through like about 3, 4, 5 drafts. Just constantly revising, trying to get the word order right. Slipped up a few times there, but yeah, it took me a while to get my tongue around it because it's so dense with those one-liners.
The statements, the one-liners was followed up by the swear words, and it's that swear that kept you motivated to follow through at that super high frequency, because it was the permission slip to enter the high level of creativity.
Yeah.
And that's why I had people do that homework, because it's your permission slip for high creativity. And then it's funny, you share it with some other people in ceremony, ceremony doesn't always have to be super serious shit. Sometimes you need these revocations to motivate your ass to the next level.
Oh, I can tell you, Andrew, like the first time I used it during winter solstice last year, when it was like gathering a set of revocations to use, while the fire was kind of like heating up, I would use this as kind of like a warm-up revocation. And there were times when the wind was going a bit and the fire wouldn't take. In fact, it was the very first time I think I used it. I got about a minute in, and within a minute, the fire was already lit. It was that kind of powerful. The revocation just lit the fucking fire.
Good shit. Yeah, it just lit it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, everybody absolutely loves it, man. So I got another question. So the journey of writing this, what did you really learn about yourself?
It was a year ago now. It's kind of hard to place myself back in that time.
No, up to today. What have you learned about this? What does it do for you? What do you learn about it?
It's kind of like a full embodiment teaching. It's kind of like recently in my meditations, I've been kind of getting into something like the full body breath when I'm meditating. And this is kind of like that. It's kind of like the full body reprisal and full body kind of expression of kind of linguistical alchemy in a way that's kind of uncensored. Obviously, it can't state in the office. Kind of just coming from a very, very primal, visceral place. Yeah. That's
that raw, unhindered, unfettered creativity.
Yeah.
The feral part of you that's like, Rrr.
Yeah. It's a really, really interesting thing to see people react to it as well when I've shared it with friends. Yeah.
And the British accent just makes it fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I know there are a couple other cute British swearing lines that only other British people would understand. You might want to consider throwing a couple of those in. Like tosser and some of the other ones.
I was going to say, if you choose to, you could do a rewrite. Is what I've done. I haven't done it yet, but I've prepared for it. Is you write down every swear word and saying, and just mix it all in. Tosser, wanker, twat waffle, and be very creative about it. And because I know where you're coming from, saying fucking all the time is very, but I don't know, maybe it's a stand-up comics like, you got to keep the audience engaged a bit more. And if you choose to, of course, you don't have to, you can ignore everything I'm saying. but you could do a rewrite and just bump up all the swearing and make it more exciting. Just not exciting, but just more different. And instead of instead of repeating this, repeating the same phrase, you just make it more exciting in that respect, and you'll get laughs out of it because just the way you say certain things. Like John Cleese said, when I caught my kids swearing, I wasn't upset they were swearing. I was upset because they weren't being imaginative.
Yeah. And the other thing, sometimes when you go back to that word fucking over and over again, it amplifies the energy in you. So it's a careful use of repetition as versus the next level of the colloquial where you're trying to truly be intricate with your word alchemy to make it a point. Because that rap one, he had some unique ones where ass licking, just some unique things that just puts the negatives into their place. And then Gabriel, the first guy that did his too, outstanding material.
Yeah, I think stylistically, like I'd lean more into semantics and kind of the actual word order and playing with the voice, kind of leaning more into like the passive rather than the active voice and kind of making those little subtle switches where you kind of get those, like when you read books in translation and the English has kind of got this very unique magical quality about it because it's come from another language.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, that's what I would see. I would want to kind of do with that, like use that kind of flowiness that comes from English in translation.
Well, you could always put it into Google Translate into Spanish and then try to translate it back into English.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals, is to learn Spanish but keep my Australian accent just to piss everyone off. El momento, por favor. Just going to really grate people the wrong way.
All right, Sam, thanks a lot for calling in and sharing that outstanding swear revocation, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having us on. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Cheers. All right, guys, we are at the end of the show. Montesaurus giveaway for people to get a hold of you.
Just search engine Wafer Thin Entertainment, and you'll find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube is the main channel, also on Rumble and Odyssey. So because of the fear of internet censorship, I'm on 17 fucking platforms. So you should be able to find me. That's my point. And or just Monty Dean, and you should be able to find something of me. But Wafer Thin Entertainment. And of course, if you want to listen to me for 7.5 hours, I've done the audiobook for Stardust Ranch. So by purchasing a copy, Bruce can buy a cup of coffee and I can pay rent. So everyone wins.
You had to give the whole
Bruce,
title though, Monty. Yeah.
Bruce,
So yeah, just
people.
so I'm principally a writer. I do a bit of radio, but I have my books up on Amazon there. And if you're listening to Andrew, I would say, obviously get the Galactic Historian, The World According to Andrew Bartzis, but also you might want to take a look at Stardust Ranch, The Incredible True Story. Remember the full title, Monty, or you'll send people on a Google goose chase for 3 days. Just Google Stardust Ranch sometime. It's like 88 pages. It's like,
Stardust Ranch, The Incredible True Story. And if you can condense them into initials, it's Stardust Ranch Tits.
It's tits.
he thought about that. That wasn't an inspiration moment. He thought about that.
No, I discovered that when I was doing the book. It's like, I'll just condense this. The Incredible True Tits. Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, you guys, you know who I am. You can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, catch me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and anywhere else. If you are so inclined that you want to read a physical book and you're not one of those bitchy, moany whiners that only wants an EPUB to be read to you, you can go and buy The Galactic Historian, The World According to Andrew Bartzis on Amazon.com as a physical in your hands read. There will be an ebook that comes out, but it shall not come out till next year. Yes, I am intentionally putting it out as a book on purpose for you people that are out there. Now, the next thing is we will be back in 2 Fridays from now, where we'll have another comedy show, and I'm going to give homework. So anyone that was listening, it's time for you to come up with a swear revocation.
Mm-hmm.
You have been served, bitches. The bar has been set. Okay? The bar has been set.
And if you want to make it even more interesting, do a swearing revocation and then do a clean version of that swearing revocation. And I'll give you an example. Instead of saying motherfucker, it's mother lover.
Mother or fudge packer.
Yep. You know what I mean? You swearing revocation, but for polite society. That I would find that fascinating.
And if you've already done the thing, if you've already done it, you can do it again for extra credit.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, do a rewrite. You're a different person now than you were then, so just do a quick rewrite and twat waffle. That's a nice cockwomble. Cockwomble's a very English one. You can add that.
Twat and cunt and all those others. All right, everyone. We'll catch you We'll catch you in 2 Fridays for the next comedy show. All right, Robert, take us away. Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello, let's create, let's co-create, and let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: choice, 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 and choice.